Between the Testaments, it gives a little bit of the history of what happened between the Old and New Testaments. Like there it talks about the Persian period and Alexander the Great. And that's probably about 10 pages long. Then after that comes into the New Testament, and this is a brief harmony of the Gospels. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. It's a brief so you can see the parallels. And here we are, the New Testament, and like I said before, it is the red letter edition of the Open Bible. This is Matthew chapter 24. You can see all the red. And let's see here. Now, as I was talking about before, I showed you in Isaiah. Here at the end of John, it's now showing a cross-reference of passages that were taken from the Old Testament. Like here's Genesis, or John 1:2. It references Genesis 1:1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And then Genesis 1:1. In the beginning God created the heaven and the earth. And so like I said, that's a really neat feature for studying. A lot of times when I'm reading the Bible, I'm like, how was that in the Old Testament, or which passages were in the Old Testament? Obviously, in Hebrews, there's going to be quite a few references. Hebrews, the end of Hebrews, to the Old Testament. The writer of Hebrews definitely lays out that the new covenant is better than the old covenant in several ways. I'm not going to get into that, but the new covenant is a better covenant. And here we have at the end of Revelation, we get into some more features of this particular Open Bible. We have interesting and unusual facts about the Bible. And then I really like this particular feature right here. It's called the first mentioned things in the Bible. I really like this particular feature because there's in studying the Bible, there's a method called 2020 vision. Actually, there is one called 2020 vision. That's where to get the context of a verse, you read 20 verses before that verse and 20 verses after, so you can get the full context of the verse. But actually, there's another one called the first mentioned. And what you do with that is, for example, if you want to look about execution or shepherding, being a scribe, you go to the first mentioned, and it builds the first time something is mentioned in the Bible, gives a foundation of what that topic is all about. It's kind of hard to explain, but if you're looking up a word, if you go to the first time it's mentioned in the Bible, it helps to get a fuller understanding of what that word means. Some more features of this Bible has the parables that Jesus told. Some archaeological discoveries. I actually had the privilege to visit Ur of Chaldees, which is actually where Abraham came from. A privilege of visiting the ziggurat there, where they would sacrifice to the moon god. It's an interest. It gives you a different perspective of the idolatry and the wickedness that Abraham, well, actually I should say what God called Abraham out of. There it is right there. City of Ur, Abraham's hometown. I've been there. It's a neat place. Okay. The concordance on this is very good. I believe, let's see, I think it's 100. Yeah, it's 104 pages long. 104 pages long for the concordance. So it's a nice concordance. Then at the end of the concordance, it does have some place for notes, study notes. I don't know how many pages, like probably 30 pages, something like that. And then, of course, at the end, one of my favorite features of any Bible, I wish all Bibles had this, is maps. I love to look at maps. I like looking at pictures when I'm reading the Bible. It brings things into context, helps me to understand the information I'm reading. So, this is the review of the Open Bible Red Letter Edition, King James Version. Chock full of information, good quality, genuine leather. It's maybe 2 inches thick, maybe 1 3/4 inches, something like that. Nice sized Bible. It sits in your lap, nice. You can hold it in your hand, preaching from whatever. It sits in your hand, just beautiful. It just lays open. Love the Bible. Love the Word of God. And I'm actually doing this review. It's twofold. I want to demonstrate to people the Word of God, some different study Bibles. And then my second reason is I don't know if this is possible, but I have too many Bibles. And I really don't want to see this one go necessarily. I do like this Bible, but I have so many other Bibles, I just decided I need to downsize. And so, if you are interested in purchasing this Bible from me, if you would send me a note, I will let it go. So, there it is. It does have, I don't know if I mentioned, it does have 2 ribbons. And once again, it is the Open Bible Authorized King James Version Red Letter Edition. Thank you for viewing, and God bless.